but not to worry. He waited until the log reached the precipice of the waterfall, and that magnificent bird spread its mighty wings to fly, only to find that his feet were frozen to the log. Oh, that I had the wings like a dove, that I could fly away and be at rest. But there is no rest. How often do we find ourselves in the midst of making important decisions in our lives only to find that our feet are frozen to the log? Not this past spring, but spring a year ago, Joanne and I went down to Lowe's, or maybe it was the other place, to buy some plants. We were going to plant a garden, and we had it plotted out as to where these plants would go. So we go there, and Joanne's buying the plants, and I look over, and I see these strawberry plants in this small plastic container. The decision was pretty easy for me. I just picked them up, put them in the cart, and she paid for them, and we took them home. Well, we laid out the garden, but we had not talked about where we were going to put these strawberry plants. Knowing that there was no other beds in the yard that we could use, we decided just to plant them around the edge of that small garden. Well, we all know that strawberry plants, when they start to grow, have runners out there, and pretty soon they take over a pretty good amount of space. So by the end of the summer, the strawberries are doing real well. And I said to Joanne, come next year, we're going to have to transplant these strawberries. These 4 plants are now like 25 plants, and we're going to have to move them around somewhere in the yard. So early in the spring, just the end of February, I'm talking to Joanne. I'm out in the yard doing something. I popped my head in. I said, honey, I'm going to till this garden area, but, I don't want to destroy the strawberry plants. Where do you think we might move them? And she said, well, put them on the side of the house. What side do you want me to plant them on? We'll put them on the sunny side of the house, she said. All right. Where's the sunny side? Opposite the bedrooms. All right. Thought about it for a minute. Honey, that whole side yard is nothing but Bermuda grass, probably the best grass that we got in the whole yard. And if I put a strawberry patch out there, we're going to be pulling Bermuda out of that thing for the rest of our lives. Well, just get your tiller out and go out there and make a couple passes and dig deep, pull some of the Bermuda out of there and transplant the strawberries. All right, honey, I'll do it. Spent the whole day tilling it up, pulling out Bermuda, transplanting the strawberries. By the end of the day, I wasn't in a good mood. Went in the house and I said, honey, we need to strike a deal. We need to make a pact. Why don't you take half of the strawberry bed and keep it weeded and pull out the Bermuda, and I'll take the other half. And by that way, we'll just share the load, because there's going to be a whole lot of work to do this spring. All right, she said, we'll do it. Well, I watered those strawberries a couple times a week and found myself out there even more than that, pulling up Bermuda, pulling up weeds out of my half of the bed. Now, I noticed that she hadn't been out there doing the same on her half of the bed. Well, spring rolls around, the sun's out, and pretty soon we have blossoms on the strawberry plants. We're about ready to have some fruit here. And I look over at her side, and it's overrun with Bermuda and weeds. So I went in the house, and I said, honey, you need to get out there and spend some time in your half of the strawberry patch. We're going to have strawberries, but you're not going to have any in your half. I can't even see the plants. Here's what she told me. There was a farmer, a good man, went out in the field one day and planted some good seed. while he was sleeping, someone else slipped out there and planted weeds. Crops began to grow. So did the weeds. Pretty soon, it looked like the weeds were going to take control of that field. So the workers that were out in the field went into the farmer and said, you're a good man and we want to be good workers. Do you want us to go back out there and pull all the weeds out of that field? Give the crops a chance to grow. Farmer didn't even have to think about it. Said, if we pull those weeds now, we have a real good chance of destroying the crop. Let's just let the weeds go. When it comes time to harvest, that's when we'll pull the weeds. That's your decision, honey? That's my decision. I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, that I might fly away and be at rest. But there is no rest. The king, before he came down off the rooftop that day, looked up into the heavens and said, O Lord, I call upon you. I trust in you. I trust that you are my God, and to me you will reveal all things. I wonder, how is it that you make your decisions? I wonder.